Om Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Dive Nashtaprayeshu Tantreshu Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttava Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Welcome to this discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. We are right now discussing Canto 1, Chapter 13. Dhritarashtra with home. In this chapter, we have covered up to shloka number 45. That is, we have covered Narada shatters Yudhishthira's lamentation, which is in this set of slokas. We saw there are two types of illusion. One illusion is that our caretaker are the only caretakers and nobody else is a caretaker. That is one type of illusion. And other type of illusion is that I am the caretaker of all my dependents. So that is the illusion which is stronger and very difficult to break. That is the reason Narada has to come down to Yudhishthira's palace to clear this illusion of Yudhishthira. The second illusion is deeper from the sense that it involves the false ego. We will be satisfied, our ego will get satisfied if somebody is dependent on us. We have the tendency to have pets, especially dogs, because dogs, somehow or the other, they give us a feeling that we are its master, dog's master, and it moves our ego. That is why we see there is a surge in Indian households to get dog as the pet. Dog actually is a sinful life, and when you have dog in your home, it is very difficult to prepare offering for the Lord. Rearing a pet like dog at home is not conducive for devotional life. Therefore, we need the first sign that we are Krishna conscious is that we will take care of Krishna in all sense. So, and the first step is that uh, we cannot, if it is possible for us to move the pet to some other family, we should do that. Otherwise, we should not take new pets in our life. Whatever pet we have to ensure that when we prepare the bhoga, it is not seen by the pet. That this is very important for us in our spiritual life. We have already lot of relationships, and these relationships are dragging us away from Krishna. We should not create any relationship, um, uh, especially the relationship at human level, man to man or man to women or man no, at human level. That itself is dragging us away from Krishna. If we try to relate with animal, then it moves us to lower species. There is a tendency to move to lower species. And Prabhupada, in one of his books, he mentions that it is not possible for a human to properly relate with animal. Therefore, Shastra, according to therefore means we should not get pets. What we can have is we can have animals which give milk. So in that way, cow, buffalo, goat milk. These are all some domestic animals which we can use to get milk and serve Krishna with the delicious milk preparations. So that is what we should do. Especially a cow is most important. In some cases, if a cow is not affordable, goat or buffalo can be also good. Cow is a sattvic, is very dear to Krishna. So that is the most preferred animal that we can. have uh, in our family or in our home. Okay, let us go to the point. Let us go to the shloka. कालकर्म गुणाधीनो देहोयां पंचभौतिकः कथम अन्यां सर्वोपाये सर्वोग्रस्तस्य तापनम्. This is a very important verse. This gross body made up of five elements is already under the control of eternal time, kala. Action, karma, and the modes of material nature, guna. How then can it, being already in the jaws of serpent, protect others under the control of kala, karma, and guna? How then it can already be in, how can it protect others when it is already be in the jaws of serpent? We see that children of parents are sometimes taken away by kala, like children commit suicide, they die at a very young age, and so on. The parents are then protected in some way or the other. When time comes, parents pass away. When the son passes away before parents, it is akala. So this is influence of eternal time. That is kala. Son passing away before parents. This is akala, influence of time. The next point is karma. What is karma? Everybody is subjected to their karma. Sometimes a protector of family will be subjected to bad karma. Sometimes the son of the family will become bad boy or mentally retarded child. He is in such a bad karma, he cannot take care of the parents any time in his life. On the other hand, parents have to take care of them throughout their life. Sometimes son is so irresponsible that he spends all the parents' money. Parents then accuse we do not know what bad karma we have done to get such a bad son. These are intelligent parents because they understand karma. The next point is guna. We are all subjected to three modes of material nature. How can we protect others? Sometimes the children are in high passionate mode. They are unable to give up their job and come and take care of their parents. This is because of heavy passion in them. Sometimes the sons are in tamoguna. They get intoxicated. They do not take care of their parents. Thus, under the influence of guna, individuals become incapable of protecting themselves. Therefore, kala, karma, guna. These are three important things that influence the way we act. Because we are influenced in the influence of kala, karma, and guna, we cannot predict anything in our life. We need to simply surrender to Krishna. Some young people have what is called as a youthful pride. They are proud of their young body. This is usually dismantled by old age. We just have to wait. We know powerful boxers like Muhammad Ali, they were very strong, but when they got affected by a disease, their entire pride of having a strong body was dismantled. Mhm. This is important for us to realize in our life. Most persons are passionate. Prabhupada is writing, most persons are passionate and ignorant, and therefore their plans and projects can hardly do any good to others. Above the modes of material nature is the eternal time, which is called as Kala, because it changes the shape of everything in the material world. Even if we are able to do something temporarily beneficial, time will see that good project is frustrated in course of time. Therefore, the only gift we can give to all is Krishna. So, according to Srila Prabhupada, we cannot give anything lasting to anyone except Krishna. Therefore, we should preach and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. Krishna will go with them for every life. We should give Krishna to others, and that is Prabhupada's books. Any project which does not lead to transformation of art is a useless project. When we do something in our life, we have to see whether it results in transformation and art of the people who are involved in the project. If it is not, then it is not worthwhile doing the project. The transformation of art for a person should be for Krishna. Krishna should be the focus. If it is not for Krishna, everything is just a frustration. In the purport, Prabhupada is making one interesting point. The highest professional project of philanthropic activity is to engage everyone in the act of preaching Bhakti Yoga all over the world, because that alone can save the people from control of Maya or material nature, represented by Kala, Karma, and Guna as described above. The Bhagavad Gita 14.26 confirms this definitely. It is this shloka is a very important shloka. Text 47. Ahastani sahastana apadani chatushpada falguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivana. Those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. Those devoid of legs are prey for four-legged. The weak are the subsistence for the strong, and general rule holds that one living being is food for another. The key point in this verse is Jivo Jivasya Jivan. This means everybody in this world will die. That's a concept of food chain. Fly being eaten by frog, frog being eaten by snake, snake being eaten by eagle. In human life, Srila Prabhupada says that human being should cause pain to others, um, or should not cause pain to others. But the way he lives, he gives pain to others. Thus, we eat only vegetarian food, which gives least pain to others. That we should not, therefore, we should not eat meat. The main point here is Narada wants to tell Yudhishthira that your aunt and uncle have gone to forest. They will subsist on fruits, berries, vegetable, and at the right moment, they will be taken away by Kala Sarpa. They will attain another destination. So if Yudhishthira Maharaj thinks that they will be exploited by someone, Yudhishthira Maharaj has to understand that this is the law of the world, that they will be exploited by someone. Therefore, Yudhishthira Maharaj should not waste time setting things right in this world. In our, so for devotee, in our day-to-day life, we should see that, we see that our family members suffer from some pain or the other. In general, people will be suffering because of the exploitative attitude of the leader, and the leader will suffer from non-cooperative subordinates, and subordinates will be not treated by the people, or not be elected by the people properly. So this is a cycle of its own. This is part of the material world. Therefore, intelligence is in quitting this material world. So the topmost leader will get pain from their subordinates, and subordinates who are elected by people will not be elected by the people in the next election. So if the subordinate leaders, when they are elected, they do not give good facility to the people. So people get suffering. So this cycle of suffering remains in this world. This is part of the material world. Therefore, intelligence isn't quitting the material world, giving up this material world. The solution is not to make life comfortable in this material world, but to wind up things here and go back home, back to Godhead. Is vegetarian food painful? Yes, it is also painful. That is why we offer food to Krishna. When we cut vegetables, it gives pain to the plant. It gives my pain to the When we cut fruits, it gives pain to the trees. But that pain is unavoidable because one one life is a food for another life. So there will be always a pain, but the pain is minimum. Now, it is not very high level of pain. It is a pain, and this pain, the tree suffers because the food is offered to Krishna. That way, there is no sinful reactions incurred by the person who plucks the fruit, flower, leaves from the trees. We go to the next shloka, shloka number 48. We will take 48, 49, and 50 in one single time. Tad idam Bhagavan Rajan Eka Atmanam Swadara Antaro Anantaro Vadi Pashyartamaya Ruda. Therefore, O king, you should look to Supreme Lord only, who is one without second and who manifests himself by different energies and is both within and without. Text 49. Soyam Adya Maharaja Bhagavan Bhuta Bhavanaha Kala Rupavati Nosham Abhavayaya Suradvisham. That Supreme Personality of God Lord Shri Krishna, in guise of all devouring time, Kala Rupa, has now descended to the earth to eliminate the envious from the world. Text 50. निष्पादितं देवकृत्याम् अवशेषं प्रतीक्षते तावद्यूयम् अवेक्षात्वं भवेद्यावत् इहेश्वरः. Lord has already performed his duties to help the demigods, and he is awaiting the rest. You Pandavas may wait as long as Lord is there. At in these three verses, Narada wants to indicate to Yudhishthir Maharaj that Lord Krishna descended on earth to devour the Asuras in the Great War. That task is completed. He wanted, Lord Krishna wanted the pious kings to rule the world. This is also now accomplished. Now, Lord Krishna will be winding up his pastimes and he will be leaving this world. When Lord leaves to his abode, Kali Yuga will start. Therefore, Yudhishthir Maharaj has to leave the world. Therefore, Lord Narada Muni instructs Maharaj Yudhishthira, do not make this world a better place to live for yourself and for your aunt and uncle. This material world is like a bridge to cross over and not a place to live forever in this material world. Hmm? It is not a place to live here forever. And this purport is very important. In this, Srila Prabhupada is talking about the asuric tendencies. Too many asuras in this world. So Prabhupada is pointing out some seven qualities of asuras. One is uh, envious tendency. One attitude of asuras is envious tendencies. Asuras are envious of Lord and his devotees. Why they are envious? Because of their material desires. And these material desires make them dominate in this material world for the resources of the material world. And this materialistic desire makes them think that they are God. That therefore they try to imitate that they are God. They try to become imitation gods, competing with each other and try to become the God themselves. This type of attitude disrupts the entire system in the world that and makes this place hellish for the devotees. Thus, they are very disruptive. Fifth, when devotees show their love for Krishna and do not depend on this type of asuric leaders. They oppose the natural devotion of devotees to Krishna. So this is the fifth attitude. Sixth attitude is they cause distress. This distress is because the devotees do not budge to the demands of the asuras, and they are very steadfast on the devotional service. Therefore, asuras make rules which cause distress to the devotees. And the last one is their disruptive influence affects all the animals, birds, and demigods. Therefore, their influence is universally affected. They affect the entire universe. So envy, materialistic desires, imitation, which causes disruption of the society, and they oppose the devotional attitude of devotees. They cause distress to devotees. It affects universally everyone. Therefore, Krishna comes and he relieves the earth of such demoniac people. And in Kali Yuga, every person has a demon in him. To kill this demon, we need to chant the holy name of Lord, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's go to the next shloka, 51. तातराष्ट्रा सह भ्रात्रा गान्धार्य च स्वभार्यया दक्षिणेन हिमवता ऋषीणाम् आश्रमं गतः. O king, your uncle Virashtra, his brother Vidura, his wife Gandhari have gone to the southern side of Himalaya mountains where there are shelters of great sages. So to pacify the mourning Maharaj Yudhishthira, Narada first of all spoke from philosophical point of view, and then he began to describe future movements of his uncles, which he could see by foreseeing powers, and thus began to describe as follows. Text 52. श्रोतृभिः सप्तभिः या वै स्वार्दुनी सप्तदा यदा सप्तानां कृतये नाना सप्तश्रोता प्रचक्षते. There is a place called Saptashrota divided by seven because there are waters of sacred Ganges that divided into seven branches. This was the satisfaction of seven rishis. Text 53. Snat स्नाता व अनुस्वानम् तस्मिन् बुद्ध्वा च अग्नि यथा विधि अभक्षा उपशान्तात्मा सा आस्ते विगत ईशनः. On the bank of Saptashrota, Dhritarashtra is now engaged in beginning Ashtanga Yoga by bathing three times daily in the morning, noon, and evening, and by performing Agni sacrifice with fire and by drinking only water. This helps one control the mind and senses, frees one completely from thoughts of familial affection. The yoga system is a mechanical way to control the senses and mind and divert them from matter to spirit. The preliminary process are sitting posture, meditation, spiritual thoughts, manipulation of air, passing with the body, and gradual situation in trance, facing the absolute person Paramatma. Such mechanical ways of rising to spiritual platform prescribe some regulatory principles of taking bath daily three times, fasting as far as possible, sitting and concentrating the mind on spiritual matters, and thus gradually becoming from Vishaya or material objectives. So this is something which he takes, Dhritarashtra takes inspiration from Vidura, and under his guidance, he is doing this. A man who has no control over tongue at first can hardly become a yogi. Yogi and bogi are two different opposite terms. The bogi or a merry man who eats and drinks cannot be yogi, for yogi is never allowed to eat and drink unrestrictedly. We may know with profit how Dhritarashtra began his yoga by drinking water only and sitting calmly in a place with spiritual atmosphere, deeply absorbed in thoughts of Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead. So we need to restrict our food. We should, as a devotee, we should take only Krishna Prasada. जिताशनो जित श्वासः प्रत्यार्थ स इन्द्रियः हरिभवान् हया ध्वस्त राजा सत्तमोमलः. One who has controlled the sitting posture, the yogic asanas, and the breathing process can turn the senses towards absolute personality of God and thus become immune to contaminations of modes of material nature, namely mundane goodness, passion, and ignorance. Hari Baba Naya Bhava Naya, absorbed in the thoughts of absolute personality of Hari. By doing this, Dhritarashtra will be able to overcome the influence of um, three modes of material nature. Jitashana. Jitashana means one who has conquered the sitting posture. Um, this means he is controlling the senses. Jita Shwasha, one who has controlled the breathing process. And Pratyahirataha, turning back. Turning back means turning the focus inwards. This means that focusing the consciousness inwards on Paramatma. In short, we should withdraw the senses from the sense object, prevent the mind from mental speculation, and focus the Lord in the heart. This leads to samadhi. Prabhupada here is writing this process of turning the senses from material attachment to loving transcendental service of Lord is called as pratyahara, and the very process is called as pranayama, ultimately ending in samadhi or absorption in pleasing the Supreme Lord by all means. Text 55. Vijnana Atmani Samyogya Kshetragne Pravilapyatam Brahmani Atmanam Adhare Tatambaram Ivambare. Dhritarashtra will have to amalgamate his pure identity with intelligence and then merge into Supreme Being with the knowledge of his qualitative oneness as a living entity with Supreme Brahma. Being free from the blocked sky, he will have to rise to the spiritual sky. A pure devotee of Lord does not live on any planet of material sky, nor does he feel any contact with material elements. His so-called material body does not exist, being surcharged with spiritual current of the Lord's identical interest, and thus he is permanently free from all contaminations of sum total of Mahtattva. He is always in the spiritual sky, which he attains by being transcendental to the sevenfold material coverings by the effect of his devotional service. The conditioned souls are within the coverings, whereas the liberated soul is far beyond the cover. The point here is that devotee does not stay in the material world. He travels to the spiritual sky, and we have to come out of the sevenfold material coverings to uh, go back home, back to God. That is most important point. We go to next sloka. Just a point on the last shloka. This process of giving a bodily consciousness is explained in the shloka. In our case, we just engage in devotional service, we just engage body in service of Krishna. And by engaging our body in service of Krishna, we get out of the body consciousness. Text 56. Krasta ma aya gunadar ko niruda करणाशयः निवर्ति था अखिलाधारा हस्ते स्थाणु इवाचलः तस्य अंतरायो नैवाभू संन्यास्त अखिल कर्मणः. He will have to suspend all actions of senses, even from the outside. He'll have to be impervious to interactions of senses, which are influenced by modes of material nature. After renouncing all material duties, he must become immovably established beyond all sources of hindrances on the path. Dhritarashtra has attained by yogic process the stage of negation of all sort of material reaction. The effects of material modes of nature draw victim to indefatigable desires of enjoyment, but one can escape such false enjoyment by yogic process. Every sense is always busy in searching for food, and thus conditioned soul is assaulted from all sides, and no chance to become steady in any pursuit. It becomes very difficult for us to control our senses. It will never get satisfied, indefatigable. The desires keep on growing. It will never stop. Uh, Therefore, we need to have somewhere, we need to stop engaging our senses in material desires. And as soon as we get in contact with devotee, we understand that what Prabhupada has given in his books makes sense, and chanting of Hare Krishna gives me peace of mind. We should start slowly cutting the tendency to have more and more material desires. And this mindset and constant chanting the holy names, following a definite sadhana, a schedule, getting up early in the morning, following Mangalarti, attending Mangalarti. When we do this, we understand the desire to serve Krishna is much superior than anything in this world. That will help us doubting our desires to serve Krishna. That is why, as soon as we get the understanding that this philosophy is very good, this practice of Krishna consciousness is very good, I should quickly adapt this in my life. When we get this feeling, slowly we should start cutting the desires, material desires, and engage in service of Krishna, which is having a definite schedule, chant the holy name 16 rounds, follow the four regulative principles. Go to shloka number 57. Sava adhyatana rajan pratah panchame ahani kalevaram asyati swam tacha basmi bhavishyati. O king, he will quit his body most probably on the fifth day from today, and his body will turn to ashes. Will take 58 also. दह्यमाने अग्निवीर्देः पत्युपत्नी सहोत्तजे बहिः स्थितपतिं साध्वी तम agnim anupekshyati. While outside observing her husband who will burn the fire of mystic power along with this attached cottage, his possessed wife will enter the fire with rapt attention. Text 59. विदुरस्तु तत् आश्चर्यं निशाम्य कुरुनन्दन हर्षशोकयुक्तस्तस्मात् दण्डतीत निषेवकः. Vidura being affected with delight and grief will then leave that place of sacred pilgrimage. This purport is very interesting. Vidura was astonished to see the marvelous departure of his brother Dhritarashtra as a liberated yogi. For his past life, he was not attached to materialism. Of course, it was only due to Vidura that his brother attained the desirable goal of life. Vidura was therefore glad to learn about it, but he was sorry that he could not make his brother turn into a pure devotee. This was not done by Vidura because of Dhritarashtra's being inimical to the Pandavas, who were all devotees of the Lord. An offense at the feet of Vaishnava is more dangerous than the offense at the lotus feet of God. Vidura was certainly very liberal to bestow mercy upon his brother, Dhritarashtra, whose past life was very materialistic. But ultimately, the result of such mercy certainly depended on the will of Supreme Lord in the present life. Therefore, Dhritarashtra attained liberation only, and after many such liberated states of life, one can attain to the stage of devotional service. Vidura was certainly very mortified by the death of his brother and sister-in-law, and the only remedy to mitigate such lamentation was to go out to pilgrimage. Thus, Maharaj Yudhishthira had no chance to call back Vidura, his surviving uncle. Text 60. इति उक्त्वा अतरुहत् स्वर्गं नारदा सह तुम्बुरुः युधिष्ठिरो वचस्तस्य हृदि कृत्वा गह जहच्युचा. Having spoken thus, the great sage Narada, along with his Veena, ascended into outer space. Yudhishthira kept his instruction in his heart and so was able to get rid of all lamentation. In the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a description of Chatusana and Dwarapalaka. And Dwarapalaka's Jaya Vijaya did not allow Chatusana to enter into the Vaikuntha, which Chatusana wanted to enter. And this resulted in with Jaya Vijaya offending Chatusana, Chatusana uh, cursing Jaya Vijaya to be born as demons. We see that demons, the Jaya Vijaya become demons. But there is another explanation that Chatusana were not able to go beyond the Shanta Rasa. This is because their false ego was bitten by anger. Thus, they could not elevate themselves beyond Shantarati. Aparada. Aparada means offense. Aparada. Radha means bliss. Aparada means which constricts the bliss. Two friends are there, and this their friendship gives a very good bliss to them. They eat together, they sleep together, they work together. Everything is very blissful. But when one friend goes and talks bad about his friend to somebody else, then there is a straining of relationship. This results in loss of bliss, or it results in what is called as constricted bliss. Therefore, bad relationship results in restricted bliss. In case of Dhritarashtra, he attempted to kill Pandavas multiple times. Hence, the relationship with Pandavas was never blissful. Therefore, the destination of Dhritarashtra is not back to Godhead because he could not practice bhakti. Bhakti cannot be practiced with the offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava. He could not enter into loving relationship at all with anyone because he offended Vaishnavas. We saw in our previous discussion here that there are multiple levels of devotees like Dhira, Sannyasi, Narottama. In Narottama, we have Shanta, Dashya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, like that. Um, Dhritarashtra did not come to Narottama level at all. He was just stuck at the Dhira level only. And this is why Srila Prabhupada is telling that Vidura is lamenting here that Dhritarashtra has not crossed the level of not able to go become a devotee. From the materialistic point of view, if a person hears that Vidura lamented, the lamentation, the materialistic person will think will be bodily or brotherly relationship. Vidura is unhappy because his brother passed away. That is what a materialistic person will imagine. That is not the way a Acharya will think. Acharya will explain the reasons or details as it is given in Shastras. Vidura was lamenting that he could not make his brother fully Krishna conscious devotee. However, he was happy that at least he got liberated. Now, we have many other examples like this. Narakasura, who was son of Bhuma Devi and Varahadev, Varahadev uh, was actually a devotee in the beginning. We call him as a Baumasura. Baumasura. He ruled the earth very well. However, when he associated with Banasura, he became Narakasura. Dvivida was associated with Baumasura. He also got spoiled. Though we get though Dvivida was associated with Rama during Ramayana, Dvivida, when he associated with Baumasura, he also became inimical towards Krishna. Thus, bad association results in offensive mentality. Association, with bad association, we get offensive mentality. Dhritarashtra had bad association with two people. One is Shakuni and other one was Duryodhana. Though Dhritarashtra had a very good heart, he was spoiled by the bad association of Shakuni and Duryodhana. Thus, to ensure our bliss always expands, we should not be offensive to anyone. We should not commit aparad at all. The aparad means our bliss gets constricted. Yudhishthira never considered Duryodhana or Dushasana as enemies, hence his bliss was never constricted. His behavior towards Dhritarashtra, um, who wanted to kill Yudhishthira multiple times, is very exemplary. Yudhishthira Maharaj's behavior is very exemplary. So even if somebody is offensive towards us, we cannot be offensive to them. And when we practice this, we will get bliss. We'll be able to progress in our Krishna conscious life. So Narada Muni explained this to Yudhishthir Maharaj, and after he explained this to Yudhishthir Maharaj, he left. He left Yudhishthir Maharaj. Maharaj Yudhishthira was a pious king, and therefore he could see Narada Muni occasionally. Anyone who desires to see Narada Muni must first be pious and follow in footsteps of Narada Muni, which is chanting the holy names of Lord. It is very important we chant it with full attention and full interest. Thus, we come to the end of the Bhakti Vedanta purports of first canto, 13th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Dharmarashtra. Dhritarashtra quits his forms. Therefore, we are now completing the this part. Now, Parikshit Maharaj is going to take up the ruling. Yudhishthir Maharaj uh, will be seeing disappearance of Lord Krishna in chapter 14, and then we will have activities of Parikshit Maharaj. So these chapter 13 and 14, they are taking us towards the uh, activities of Parikshit Maharaj. They are building the background so that Parikshit Maharaj's activity can be read and understood further. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Panchakalpatarvyascha, Kripasindhuvayavcha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हरि हरे कृष्ण।